Furno, and I'm joined by my awesome co-caster pair.
Wait, where's the awesome one? I can't see him.
Oh boy. Well, welcome to the Fruit Cast, the Fruit Bowl Cast anyway. Today we are back for week 13 of the Overwatch League, and we're going to be watching the Seoul Dynasty take on the Guangzhou Charge. The Seoul Dynasty have been on a bit of a tear recently. They're just ripping through the Asian region, but they did suffer a kind of depressing loss to the Shanghai Dragons last week, and everybody's looking to see them come back with a halfway decent win to redeem themselves for their loss. So, should be interesting to watch.
A halfway decent win is perhaps the coldest sentence I've
Halfway.
ever heard you say.
Thank you. So, coming right off in the beginning here, we're looking at somewhat of a mirror match. We're seeing the Symmetra teleporters being used to get everybody onto the point. Both of them are running Sombra, so I expect that they're obviously the Asian teams have enjoyed running dive this week, so we're probably going to see more of that, especially with Sombra being able to get the easy hacks off. I wonder who. Okay, both teams are running Echo,
Missing the echo.
and that's a pretty common thing we're seeing. They're running the Echo with the Sombra. I guess if you can hack your enemy or hack the Echo out of her animations or out of her abilities, then she's basically useless in a fight.
It really relies on those abilities, and she's just used one of them there. Prophet taking out Krong's mech with the focusing beam, and so Dynasty can rotate round, take some more favourable sight lines, and just force the Guangzhou Charge back up into this small room.
Yeah, a very clean engagement. They got some halfway decent ult charge. We're gonna have the rally online, but not much else to fight with in the next fight. So all it's gonna take is a good re-engagement from the charge, and we should see the point maybe go over on their side.
We did see Shu take out Gesture there, the Winston down. Well, so is Nero, creative deciding anything Shu can do, he can do better. Prong wins the Diva fight, but Gesture gets one back. He's 1v1 Jules, already deciding who's winning it, and Prophet, he doesn't particularly want to fight Nero, so he'll just take out the baby Diva and the Seoul Dynasty hold.
Yeah, a really great hold from the Dynasty. At first, I thought, hey, they might have honestly switched it, but they didn't get to. So coming into this next fight, we're going to have the EMP. I bet Eileen's going to be on a flank looking for a good way to use that EMP. They're going to also hopefully use the Primal Rage along with the EMP, kind of knock them around a little bit. That should
Island
disrupt
gets
any point
discovered.
presence that they have.
Island just got discovered as he went for the ultimate there, and he does drop. He
Oh,
takes out Toby Creative as right of the Transcendence, but doesn't save Gesture quite in time. Prong finishing off, and there's the counter EMP from Fitz. Catches four members, but Rio already got the Primal Rage out. Prophet now poking him from the side angle, has the duplicate ready, but he's not using it, and Rio's making the most of his ult. He's taken out Marvel and has chunked down Creative with the help of his off tank. And Prophet's got a flea tail between his legs. He still has his ultimate to use, but it's now a less favourable situation to do so.
yeah, that was a great call from Prophet not using his duplicate because if he had used it, then Seoul Dynasty would have almost no chance of retaking this point during this fight. But because you've got the duplicate and the Primal Rage, you could use dual Primal Rages and see how that turns out. I think
Hey,
that
does
might be the
Prophet.
best choice here.
He's in onto Shu. He's trying to take him out. He gets incredibly low, but he's forced out of the duplicate. And meanwhile, Ali and Chara, they're going to start wiping the rest of the team. Rio answers onto one, and Nero, playing just like his pretty much rhyming sake Miro on the Winston, using the duplicate to knock everyone back with that Primal Rage. And that's another hold. They've not got many ults to work with for the next fight, though, the Charge, and that could be worrying.
No, but to be fair, neither do the Dynasty. All they're really going to have is the Diva Bomb online. That's really all both teams have online, but the Charge are going to be able to, well, charge up their EMP right about now. And Shu's going to hopefully get his Transcendence up during the fight, and that can be a complete fight win just off of that Transcendence.
Shu gets felled early. Marvel and Fitz both went in for that dive, but the EMP from Eileen comes in at just the right time to hack out a few members, and then the Charge can follow through with two kills onto Marvel and Gesture. And now Eileen's just going to keep pressing away at this side angle, and without any tanks, Dynasty can't realistically take a fight on the point, so they're just going to have to lose this one quickly and get back in again.
Yeah, and now the Charger in a great position to begin ult cycling. They have four ults online, but let's say they only use one or even just two to keep their hold on this point. then they're going to consistently have ultimates online for these fights. Meanwhile, the Seoul Dynasty probably have to make a huge investment in order to pay off and get this point. So I think we're going to see a lot of ults used from the Dynasty during this fight.
But Rio's popped his early promo rage, getting hacked up by Fitz, who now has the EMP. Bombs in from Marvel, going deep over the top looking for something, but not finding anyone. Gesture is the recipient of a hack from Eileen, and here comes Fitz's EMP. Picks up both tanks, but Shu perfectly timed transcends there to keep him alive, and it's Gesture who falls first. Now Shu, looking to get some damage done from off angle, has Creative in his sights but can't quite finish him off. Seoul Dynasty still tagging in to contest, but Prophet loses to Nero, who then falls to his own damage to himself with a sticky bomb stab, but he takes out Marvel's mech, a small price to pay for salvation. Marvel then falls to Rio, and no one can tag on for the Seoul Dynasty.
Yeah, a really great first point capture for the Guangzhou Charge. They juggled their ultimates around the way they needed to, and they really just kept the Dynasty on the back foot for most of that engagement.
Absolutely, and speaking of juggling, Nero did a good job of that when he went onto the Winston
Yeah,
pick.
that's something that's really interesting to watch during these games is seeing which DPS can successfully juggle and which ones cannot, because you're always going to have those DPS players that don't actually know how to use the abilities of the heroes that they're duplicating.
Yes, but luckily Nero is a flex god, and the broadcast has seemingly come under some issues here. I haven't paused it, so I guess we'll use this time to talk more about what just happened, especially in the Sombra game. We saw Eileen consistently coming out on top against Fitz with the Sombra.
Yeah, always knew when to pop those EMPs and when to hang back and wait for the rest of her team to engage. So usually when you engage, or when your game sense comes into play there, you really have to know when a good point is, especially with Sombra. When is a good time to go for those hacks, and when is a good time to just hang back and wait for the engagement from the rest of your team.
He was also building up his EMP significantly faster, a good 20% at least ahead most times I saw, I believe.
Yeah, anywhere from 20 to 40% advantage at any given point in the game.
Right, and I think the servers get fixed round about now, which is good news. So looks like we'll be going on to ruins. I don't know what's going to happen, I'll be honest.
Well, that's kind of the point. That's why we're here.
Okay.
Oh, great. We're straight in. Okay. So Chara
MGC
came off of the Lucio. That was one of the major things I noticed coming into this fight, is that Chara had chosen Lucio. I wonder if that was like they just didn't roll out with it. Oh, great.
Why do I will cut
How
this?
does this even... Okay, so Chara started on Lucio and swapped off of it almost immediately. So clearly the Brigitte, just playing Brigitte around these more mobile tanks, works a lot better than we anticipate it does. Oh, and Chara getting hit off by the Primal. That's disappointing.
Rage, and then Shu falling. It's 99% online for the Charge, though, so they're fine to lose this fight. They'll come back in with an EMP on their side, as well as a duplicate, which is a good combo of ults to win back a point.
Right, so Prophet's going to have the duplicate online. Nero is not far behind. The major difference maker here is that Eileen does have the hack, so if she can hack Prophet out of his duplicate, they'll be in a very good position to win this fight. Especially since the Dynasty don't necessarily have any other ults that they can rely on, whereas the Charge do.
It's found.
Oh, but
Prophet's forced to duplicate, and he doesn't find any luck, and Krong's just mowing them down.
Yeah, just kind of getting the jump on Prophet there. All right.
And cleanup.
Very quick cleanup.
Gesture goes in far too deep on the Winston, doesn't have the primal to bail himself out, gets the rest of the team in quite the pickle. He can tag on now for overtime, but he's going to perish to the Zenyatta. Bits, he can't stall. Prophet just chucks his body onto the line, doesn't get any joy out of that, and just like that, Ilios has gone over to the Guangzhou Charge.
That was a really convincing victory too. Like the Charge, again, from the little bit that we saw, because I know we kind of started that round in the middle of whatever was going on there, but the Charge, as I said in the first round, are keeping the Dynasty consistently on their back foot. Like the Dynasty are never ahead on ult charge. They're never able to counter anything that the charge throws at them after that after they spring ahead. The charge are just consistently staying ahead, juggling their ults where they need to, and really getting good positioning. They're out positioning the Dynasty immensely.
Absolutely, or just seeing them getting absolutely worked in the neutral if I may indulge myself. So the Charge going to be setting up defense on Hollywood. They're going to be opting for the double shield instead of the dive comp, but they're still running Nero on the Echo.
Yeah, what they're trying to do here. They're anticipating that the Dynasty are going to continue to play the dive because, that's all any of the Asian region teams have really played. And they're trying to slow the pace down. They want to bring the Dynasty down to their level by playing the double barrier and making it really hard for Profit to get a good angle and get picks. So I think that's what we're going to see a lot of is they're going to place their shields down in really good spots, and Profit just won't find the value on the Echo.
Echo's good at bursting down one shield, but when it gets to two, it'll really start to struggle.
Especially when she's being pressured down by an Ashe. Like that's
Yeah, Eileen's going to be looking to just poke Profit out, but it's Creative who'll get poked out first. Nero spamming away of that primary fire into the Holt, and you can't fight down as Enya, so the Dynasty just have to disengage around the far side.
Yeah, and it looks like they're trapped along that side because the disengage would be, and we've got another pause. Well,
Seems
all
like
right.
every technical difficulty could be. Right then, that's about when they start again. My apologies.
Okay, and
Anyway, we're back.
Yeah, the Dynasty kind of trapped behind that building there. They could get pressure down from both sides, so they have to be very careful about how they engage here. So let's see what side they decide to take or if they even break up their team for an attack. Echo hiding in the building. Oh, what are they going for here?
Gesture goes in deep, and Profit does kill Nero with the focusing beam. But Gesture looking to get some work done, has to hop out of the action as Eileen finds more of the dynamite. Creative just not having a good time in the early stages of these fights. Profit now in deep in the backline. He'll take out Shu with another focusing beam, taking out another member of the Charge. Hope Dynasty can entrench themselves firmly on this point, or can they? As Eileen takes out Fitz, the Sombra now out of play for the Seoul Dynasty. Now, they've got an Echo and a Brig, but are they going to be able to stay on point? The staying power of the Charge is so much better with that Orisa anchor as Profit. He's just going to hide up on the high ground back there. He hasn't been seen yet.
Yeah, I mean, they placed down that shield in a perfect position right outside the doorway to that building. And now all of your DPS or all of your players on the Dynasty only really have one angle that they can attack from, which is perfect for the Charge because they can anticipate the attack and keep them on their toes there. Kind of funnel them into the building and take them out one by one.
Now Fitz nearly has his EMP. He'll look to finish it off now, but it's Profit falling again. Shu finding a great pick off there. Fitz now forced to translocate out, and they answer back onto Krong, so Seoul Dynasty can invest and win this, but Rio's Bongo is going to slow them down immensely as Nero, duplicating gestures, Winston getting some work done with his tickle gun. He's got the primal rage, he can go in aggressively here. Opts to jump over the roofs, looking for something. I'm not sure what. He'll just let his ult finish up, and again, it's another minute off the clock. And the Dynasty, they've got 4 ults, but haven't made any progress.
No, they haven't. They haven't maybe made any progress yet, but you do have ult advantage for the Dynasty, and as we see those ults start to come out, we should see. Oh well, never mind. Krog's going to completely shut down any chance that they had of winning that fight because without Toby, there goes your sustain.
They use the EMP bomb there, and they don't find any value with it.
There's absolutely no value at all, and now the Charge have the perfect opportunity to move in because they've gotten the picks, they've wasted the ult charge. And now, when you're looking to the next couple of fights, Eileen is going to get his Bob online within the next fight or two. So he'll probably have it for the next fight after this one. But you've also got both support ults online, and this will be the perfect fight opportunity for Nero, Rio, and Krong to start charging up their ults for one more hold. But we might not even get to that point because there's only 10 seconds left. They have to touch the point.
They've got the duplicate, but that's everything they've got. And the rally and the Sense can keep them alive as Profit goes on to the Zenyatta. I'm not sure I understand this once he gets hit by the accretion, but this transcendence will keep them nice and healthy. By creative time to build his own. And now the Bob comes in from Eileen, chucks out the dynamite as creative goes low. He falls to another dynamite. Eileen now with Bob active on the point, gonna take out Prophet as well. Eileen is an absolute madman. He's gonna destroy Marvel's mech, drop the dynamite on top of him. Nero's gonna steal that kill. Fitz preoccupied with killing him, can't tag in, and that's pretty much a full hold coming through from the Guangzhou Charge even.
Yeah, what a perfect way to abuse the Bob mechanics on that final attack, because Eileen knew exactly what he was doing when he sent out the Bob onto the point. He was just trying to get somebody to contest the point because the rest of his team couldn't get onto the point realistically without being picked down. So you put Bob on there. He's a huge nuisance. He's aimbot, so you've got to divert resources to him. Meanwhile, he's also contesting your point capture. So the Seoul had to divert their attention from the rest of the charge onto just the Bob and get rid of him as quickly as possible. Meanwhile, that gave Guangzhou the perfect opportunity to move in and dispatch the Dynasty no problem. So we're going to see the same types of compositions coming out again. Rio and Krong still trying to run that double barrier, and it's looking like it's extremely superior, but I don't know how playing the double barrier into an assault like this would benefit them. You really want, especially on attack, first point A on Hollywood, you want heroes that can move fast, you want heroes that can block off access points, and I suppose you could use your double barrier for that, but I don't know. Yeah, Rio and Krong are... Krong on the Roadhog?
Krong might just be looking for a hook out of spawn. If he finds it, that's pretty much going to guarantee them the
easy
map.
Take, yeah.
Yeah. Because Jess just hiding up.
What's he looking
right
for?
Here.
What's he looking for? Because Rio's going dive tank. He's going Winston. Okay, I think we're going to see a switch off.
Yeah.
Going Diva. Yeah, they're trying to move. They want to move fast onto the point. They want to try to get as many picks as possible. So, mirror matchup this game.
If Krong got a hook there onto Fitz, that would have been fight over. But it might be without that as Shu falls. Nero answers onto Prophet, but losing so much healing, especially now with Chara taking a death as well. And Creative, he's going to start filling up the kill feed himself. Decides he can do more damage than Prophet can as he will finish off Eileen. And now the Charge have to reset. That's a minute off the clock for them, but they don't need to panic. They've got plenty of time to work with.
And they only need to get 66% to win this fight. Actually, 63%. So they don't have far to go, and they have a ton of time to do it. And the way that they're playing, they should be able to get it no problem. So they're moving around back.
Nero's halfway to his duplicate already, and now it's a long rotation coming out from the Charge. There's some pushing around main, some pushing around the side. They decide to commit through main with Rio on the point. Prophet using that focusing beam to burst down the shield, and it's him finding a kill onto Eileen, another opening pick, and another fight won. So he'll just chuck in the sticky bombs to get some cheeky damage in.
Yeah, and
Whilst
I don't
Nero's
think...
Nero's probably winning the 1v1 between these, but Prophet's just finding more value for his team.
Yeah, honestly. And with this next fight, I don't think we're going to see much more point capture percentage either, because Fitz is going to have his EMP online, and as long as he doesn't blow it, that should be a free fight win, especially when you've got the Transcendence to back it up. Shu and Eileen can't match that. I mean, granted, you have the duplicate, but what good is the duplicate if you're hacked and you can't use it?
He cloaks. He got stunned! I think Char managed to stun out the EMP, and that gives Shu a free Transcendence, and now the Charge is aggressive, but they find 2 kills. Toby and Gesture both fall. Nero duplicates the Diva of all people to build up that self-destruct quickly as Creative. He's going to fool the pair of 2 Divas, much better than one and much better than Zenyatta. Nero's now got the bomb. He's just going to dump it down, zone out this area here as Prophet duplicates the Brigitte just to try and stay alive, flies above the sky, but dies in the sky as well. Just uses the primal. I don't know what I just said. Just uses the primal, gets stunned up, focused down. Rio uses his own. Toby back into contest. He's getting swatted around by the Winston, and the Winston has made it a lose turn for the Seoul Dynasty.
That's so devastating. I can't wait to go into editing and, like, in the middle of this scene, flash back to the beginning of that fight when I said, as long as as long as Fitz doesn't blow the EMP. And what did he do? He absolutely blew that EMP, and that cost them the fight. Chara, though, had a fantastic game as Brigitte. I just wanted to point that out. I know. I don't
Yeah,
know why I brought that up. I just thought I should. But okay.
fantastic awareness coming through from the Gita to hear the uncloak sound, then to have the shield bash in the perfect position whilst the MP is going off. That's otherworldly. I'll be honest. That's a scary thought.
It really is. In other news, Boston Uprising have given up playing matches and are now just tweeting about Star Wars Day today.
Well, very wise men, I
What
find.
what else are you gonna do when you can't win matches?
Got Luke
Try to get
Skywalker
people
stuff.
on your side that way.
Yeah, the rebels are technically an uprising, so
Oh,
maybe
jeez. Okay,
maybe the front men of the Empire.
I'm gonna end this right now.
Darth Karayan sounds like a Sith name, if you ask me.
So we're not seeing much of a change up except Shu on the Ana. He's going to try to play further back on the point, I feel, so that he can contest the point if anybody tries to back cap. But he can also provide really good healing to the rest of his team. I expect we'll see him playing further back from the rest of his team. Meanwhile, Badoshin has to play really up close with the rest of his team, so he's going to be at risk to be picked down early.
Dynasty. They push in aggressive, but it's Rio who tries to counter dive them. Then he'll get picked off by Fitz's SMG, and now Prophet just works his way around onto the point. But Shu, the DPS Lord Ana, takes out the Sombra. And now that's going to buy the Charge a bit more time. They have to give up a tick, but it's not as bad as losing the whole point as now they step on. Nero Fell's gesture, and that's going to put the Charge in the driving seat of this fight, especially with the amount of damage Echo can do. He keeps on getting these armor packs from Toby, and he can fly, or not from Toby, from Chara even. He can just fly safe in the sky with them with that extra health added on, and the Charge can now stabilize around the point.
Yeah, and because they're able to stabilize so well, they're going to be able to force Dynasty off the point pretty quickly, I feel. I mean,
Now,
oh,
though,
okay. Eileen fell a little bit low, but he's okay for now. And he's still
who takes
terrorizing
the
that back line, I believe. No,
Nana
he's in the
boosted
front
in
now.
onto Rio. Nana boosted in onto Rio, and he's going to go and try and take out the Diva Meg, but it's Nero again finding the first kill. The Brigitte from Toby is now completely inundated and out of the fight. Gesture falls, and Nero decides that it's time to take a swan dive off of the edge. But Dosen is going to get fouled. Eileen picking up 2 final blows at the end of that fight, and the EMP is now online for him.
All right, who's ready to see the second full hold of the match? Because I know I am. I can't wait to see the Dynasty not take this point.
This will be horrific foreshadowing if it's true. As the Transcendence
I
online for Dosen.
really hope I get that right.
Yeah,
That's
Dosen, Transcendence, Eileen, EMP. So
okay, so this is completely on Eileen and Badoshin. These entire fights are on both of them because if Eileen can get the hack off before Badoshin can get his Transcendence off,
like he's just
oh, he
and
didn't
then
get it. He did.
That's 1-0, 1 fight really, as the Dynasty can't fight without their Echo.
Their Echo?
Their Echo.
Learn your vowels.
Look, I'm not clever. We've known that already. As now,
You're not
but
clever?
Dosen will have this. I'm warning you. I'm very clever. But Dosen has this transcendence, and there's no counter for it for the charge. They don't have a transcendence of their own. Fitz goes in aggressive EMP, picks up both tanks, but here's Nero on the Sombra using the duplicate. This could be 2 EMPs in 2 fights for Seoul Dynasty to deal with. I don't know if anyone can actually mentally recover from that. He goes up to the high ground, looking to spray in some damage. It's a Rio though with a nano boost, and then the primary
they're trapped in the corner. That's
done.
devastating.
Toby's bomb. Toby falls to Krong's bomb even, and Marvel's doesn't find anything. Now, there's only a minute left, and Marvel might get staggered out if he loses this mech here. Gesture goes in with the Primal Rage, looking to get some disruption down the backline, but he's not finding any luck.
Yeah, it looks like the remaining members of the Dynasty are trying to, like, terrorize, kind of poke the backline a little bit. There's not much they can do, though, so that's going to force a retreat. And now they have 30 seconds to make a really good play, but Prophet going down early, that's going to... This fight's over! This fight is over before it even started.
Prophet has gone from hero to 0 via Nero, as he can just poke up and build up this duplicate very quickly. Fitz nearly has his EMP as long as he doesn't fall here, as Rio now starts to poke him down. He's getting pressure from a lot of angles, Fitz, but he needs this ultimate if they're to realistically win this fight. They will have the Transcendence as well to do this, and there's only Nano and EMP for side of the charge, so as long as Badoshin presses Q at the right time, he's forced to use it early. Eileen will now get a free EMP as soon as it's over, and maybe he won't even need it as Prophet falls. Fitz drops his EMP, picks up Rio with it, who's going to start doing some good damage, but then it's a free man in from Eileen, picking up Jess and Marvel and Toby, and they'll all fall They all fall eventually. Fitz can't tag in. And it's 83.3% needed for the charge to 3-0 the Seoul
Yeah,
Dynasty.
yet another map one that, or not one, but another map that the Seoul Dynasty got full held on. That in the end, the Charge don't actually need to push all that far or all that hard to get the win on this. So they don't have far to go, and I think they're going to take full advantage of that. They could win in one or two fights.
They could win in just one, to be honest. If Nero keeps playing as he's been playing, which has been off the charts on this Echo today,
Yeah,
I
and
don't
okay,
hope.
well, see, I think that's we can give Nero a lot of credit, but it's not Nero that I'm seeing fill up the kill feed as much as it is Eileen. I mean, he sets up some of these incredible plays with his hacks, his EMPs, just terrorizing the backline when he can, and it makes all the difference in these fights. He's setting up Nero for the picks. He's setting up Rio for some of his primals to get good boops. And he's letting his supports, or the team is letting their supports play further back, specifically Shu. They're letting their Ana play further back away from the fight. So that's basically that's an advantage that they have because the Dynasty can't actually reach Shu. So no matter what, you're gonna have those consistent Ana heals coming in for your team.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing Fitz on the Ash, so it's going to be the Hollywood defense from Guangzhou Charge, but apart from their attack, as Nero's walking out on this Symmetra, we'll be
Oh,
seeing
they're
this.
playing up close. Oh, they're playing up top. They want to take. I think they want to take right through the side.
I think Eileen wants to take that minute back as he gets felled by Gesture almost instantly.
That's okay because they didn't invest anything in the fight, so they can just kind of wait there and keep poking until Eileen is able to rejoin.
Yeah, Gesture keeps on firing his weapon through this choke point, so if Eileen tries to pass through, he'll get decloaked immediately. Now Eileen goes in with the translocate, I believe, as Nero stuck on this side of the choke point. Wants to be doing some damage, but he just can't. He's a bit behind in terms of ult charge compared to Prophet. But Gesture's forced to jump out of the choke. Is going to make it easier for the charge, or it won't, because Prophet can do more than enough damage in the meantime. And Chara falls, which means it's only Shu keeping up all of the charge at the moment.
Yeah, we're consistently seeing, one member goes down, and now the Charge are kind of stuck just playing around the entrance, trying to find something. Maybe. Oh, but the dynamite, is that going to find anything? Is that going to find
No,
any value?
60 to his ult, which is a large way of the after Bob, if I will, and then another dynamite goes in. Trying to tickle down a few members. Now Fitz is only 20% off his ultimate. He'll probably be
Yep.
the first to get his in the game,
We're
apart
seeing
from the
the
dose.
final countdown from the Charge. They're ready. They need to brute force their way onto the point without any decent ults to
But that's the
use.
way to do it.
They have to brute force, and it works. Shu could. He has to save that transcendence for when they're on the point, or as close to the point as possible. So they're for right now, they're just trying to brute force their way onto the point, waiting for their other ults to charge up. But Dynasty have a huge ult advantage for this fight.
Yeah, Marvel gets his mech back. Well, no, he'll just fall to the sticky bombs from near, and now Chu uses the trans, and this is go time for the side of the charge. Chara is getting burned, but Bob is trying to do his best to zone them off as Prophet is forced to duplicate onto the Sombra. He's going to take out Chara with it though, and then he's going to look around for Rio's Winston. Then he'll kill him as well, looking for any more last work to be done. He can't see anything to kill, so he's just going to drop the EMP. Why not? Why not flex when you've got it? It's now only 90 seconds left for the charge, but they're going to be nearing 5 ultimates.
Yeah, they've got the perfect ult advantage to take this fight, and the Dynasty had to use 3 ults, it looks like, to win that fight. So all they've really got is the Primal, maybe the Rally, and hopefully a Diva Bomb, if they can play aggressively enough. So Eileen in a perfect opportunity. Come on, drop it.
You look to hack
Find the
onto
perfect.
Jester. That would be as good as an EMP if they could take out the main tank, but he doesn't. That's okay because they managed to force him off the point, and now Eileen has got free real estate. He can play as patient as he wants. Toby has no bash, and soon he'll have no life as the EMP catches onto him and 2 others, Gesture and Badosin, also hacked up, and it's Badosin falling to the Primal, and Rio's going for a little juggle onto Toby here. Can he knock him off the map? He cannot, but he doesn't need to, as now it's Toby and Fitz versus the entirety of the charge, and well, This has been how it's been for the entire game as the Dynasty slumped to a 3-0 defeat.
Wow, that's got to be the quickest map time or match time that we've ever cast.
That
I
was
mean, that was
definitely lightning
absolutely
fast.
lightning speed. I mean, the Charge never let the Dynasty have. I mean, this was a 0 point game for them.
They didn't get a singular point. That
No,
is
they didn't get a single point through the entire game.
that
That's
has got to be
insane.
considered. Didn't Dynasty beat the Charge a few weeks back, or a couple of weeks ago? This is
They did. The Dynasty are
dangerous.
beating everybody, except not
They
now,
lose to
apparently.
Shanghai. I mean, fair dues, it's Shanghai, but then they lose to the Charge.
Yeah, I know that my power rankings are definitely going to be affected by this loss because, I mean,
That's rough.
how can you really keep the Dynasty up as one of the top teams when they're pulling losses like this, where they're not even getting a single point?
Don't know. Maybe they're not a fan of the meta. Maybe they'll be working on this in scrims during the week. But
You ha-
this is danger bells for the
I mean,
side of Dynasty.
yeah, I mean, you really have to consider though that with the exception of Brigida, none of, or specifically for next week's hero pools, none of the heroes that you would ideally use in these compositions with Echo have been removed. I mean, you've still got Sombra in play, you've still got Ana, Zenyatta, you've still got both of the tanks that you would want to realistically run. So Soul just have to get better with playing Echo. They have to for them to realistically come back
Profit's going to
swinging.
be on the grind.
He has to grind. Yeah, he really does. He has to grind insane amount to match his opponents.
Yeah, Nero was phenomenal on the Echo throughout that game.
I agree. That map MVP or match MVP, probably Nero.
I'll give it to him.
I'll give it to him too. Yeah. So in any case, thank you guys so much for watching. That has been Guangzhou Charge versus Seoul Dynasty. We had a lot of fun recording it, or a lot of fun casting it, and we hope you guys have a lot of fun watching it. If you guys do enjoy it, please consider subscribing. We really appreciate it. We also appreciate any liking and commenting that you guys decide to do. But again, that's completely up to you. In any case, my name is Furno, and this has been Pear.
I'll see you guys next time.
Yes, we will. We will see you guys in the next video. Adios.